don't want to belabor the point. We're going to go ahead and get into this first clip where I want... Y'all gonna be nice tonight. I'm not going to show
Let's
out.
go.
But
let's go.
Listen, but before I show this clip, let's go. Why is it not? There we go. Before I show this clip, I just want to prep my audience. Y'all know in my lexicon, I already have a name for these types. Okay, this is a textbook example of an orangutan. The orangutan, someone that's heard me say it, if they're new to the channel, they were like, what? And they, put a question mark by it. It is a female imbecile who cannot manage their misery. And so what they do, they show out. They are categorically known for being rebellious and contentious and they just off the chain for no reason. And this is a behavioral descriptor, okay? I don't want people coming over here. You always talking about black women. Listen, Hillary Clinton is an orangutan, okay? Joy Behar is an orangutan. Sonny Halston is an orangutan. This has nothing to do with your ethnic expression. It is a behavioral descriptor, not a dermal one. It has everything to do with how you act and the source from whence the retardation comes from. You know what I mean? So let's play this clip, Henry, and then we're going to get into it. Let me see something. What is this? I'm sorry. I know they were like, what is the black square covering up? Yeah, look, this is why I don't like doing these live streams with guests. It's just too much command centering going on here. But let's get into this clip. Let me, I'm going to make it a little bigger. Is that as big as it can go? Oh, yeah. All right.
Racist, bias, and we got here that a white person can hit a black boy and get away.
That's it.
Yeah. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
They send a message. Yeah.
We love y'all.
It ain't the end of the road.
We love y'all.
That's his uncle.
Racist, bias, racist, yeah. We know the truth. Bias, racist. Y'all done became my family too. Y'all done brought us too.
You did a good job. We seen everything. Bias, we got railroaded.
I'm from Baton Rouge. I promise you. I know how it is. I moved out here from Baton Rouge. The same school.
We love y'all.
We love you.
We love y'all. We love y'all.
Y'all
got here.
Hold on.
That's the family. I gotta put y'all from my city. Hey, hold on. I got my Baton Rouge.
We love y'all.
My Baton Rouge people.
Free Karmelo. Free Karmelo.
I've seen enough. Listen. This is G-Ma right here. This is the granny. Okay?
Yes.
I know my audience has heard me say time and time again, when I'm angry or I'm feeling some sort of kind of way, or when I'm just in the out, I always refrain and demonstrate a modicum of self-control, because I'm like, look, I'm somebody's mama. And it holds way more weight when you are somebody's grandmama. When I saw this, Henry, this told me everything that I needed to know about how Karmelo Anthony got to this point. Look at the grandma. I'm assuming because the mother looks, they favor, so this is probably the mother's mother. This is that matriarchal squalor that I talk about on my channel, of the generations of bastards raising bastards. These unruly, orangutan, chaotic, rebellious women who they are not governed by wisdom. These people are not good people. They are of poor moral character. And she demonstrated this by coming out of the courtroom, not sorrowful, not somber, not Lord, watch over my grandbaby and may the peace of God rest, rule, and abide, and that he get to know you for himself, and that this sentence will be the best thing that ever happened to him because he would learn the lesson and cling to you. That's the wisdom of a God-fearing grandma who's like, yes, I love my baby, but I dwell in the light. That's not who this person is. She came out here to stoke racial tension and to imply that white people can do whatever the F they want to do. They just think they can push you. And I'm like, ma'am, are you listening to yourself? Are you saying that when somebody shoves you, your response is supposed to be, well, now you got to die. Because you don't put them paws on me, so now you have to die. Henry, go ahead.
You're absolutely correct, sis. And then, like you said, think about her attitude. And this has been the attitude. Now, we had not been introduced to her until now. But like you said, it doesn't take, we don't have to be Columbo to put together an investigation to see where this came from. What Juvie say? She get it from her mama? That's exactly what this is. And then let me point out the other thing, sis. The idiot brigade around them, like this, the Jacksons going on the victory tour.
These ninjas is next
Did you see this?
evil.
We love you.
Right, we know the truth. Hold on. The part that gets me is the grandmama, the mama, the father, Dominique, Alexander. Everybody talking about they know the truth and they know what happened. And I'm trying to figure out, when are y'all gonna let us in on what really happened? Because your opportunity to do that was in the court to lay out your case for defense, and your own witnesses failed to do that. So now everybody's lying. The prosecution's lying. Right. The defense team is lying. Everybody's lying. The chronic victim. You can't trust these people.
You cannot. And that is why, the point to that, the trailer that you started off tonight's podcast with from you and Vince is so powerful, because if people thought, a lot of y'all get pushed back and, y'all are being so dramatic and, Vince, this just, you do this. This is your shtick to make money. Do you understand does the audience see what Vince is talking about now? The chronic victim. Go to the trial, April. Over 20 witnesses took the stand, one of which was not Karmelo. He didn't even speak to defend himself.
Right.
And their testimonies were consistent in saying he was the sole aggressor.
Right. My thing is,
you can't make this up.
Right. Even to say that they have blamed everybody else except for Karmelo.
Yes.
Guys, you're going to hear later when we actually hear the testimony or an interview from the parents. They blame the lawyers. We should have got white lawyers. And I'm like, I'm telling you, these people, the more they talk, I'm like, let them talk. Let them expose themselves. This little scene right here showed me that grandma want to be famous. Grandma's trying to milk and grift. They don't give a darn about Karmelo. They really don't. They want to make Karmelo the patron saint for every other YN in the hood. This young man trying to talk about, he's from Baton Rouge and I'm at the same school. Look at the message we are sending to young black men, that you have the right. This unrighteous tribalism is not sustainable. We're already the smallest minority in this country, in the sense we used to be 13% of the population. Now I think we're down to maybe 9 or 10.
We're getting close. Yes.
We are going to exterminate ourselves by simply adopting the worldview of these wicked people and following in this. This is the way of Cain.
Yes.
When I'm reading the book of Jude, following in the way of Cain, that's what this is. This murderous heart that is being celebrated as something righteous, that we were standing up for ourselves and believe. Believe Karmelo is a hashtag now. I said, you know
Yes.
what? I will never forget my girlfriend back in 2020 during the Summer of Love with George Floyd ride. She said, Black
Yes.
people are unrighteously tribal. And it caused such a stir in my local church congregation at the time because there was a segment of some older Blacks. When I posted that on social media, they started crashing out. They started crashing out because BLM, they weren't thinking about what was happening during that time with a sober mind. They were in their
Correct.
feelings and in their emotion because they were thinking through this lens of Blackness first, not through the lens of I am a Christian and what do the scriptures say about how I should view what I'm watching right now. A doped up fentanyl crackhead just got
Correct.
hemmed up on the sidewalk, talking about he can't breathe, and we're celebrating him as if he is every Black man and that he represents us.
Yes. And April, that's why how you pointed out Jasmine Crockett's ignorant statements is so powerful because this is a industry now. And it's been that for some time. And I'll take you back to the timeline as we go further tonight. But it's going to come to three eyes and we'll break these down later. But you're either going to have integration or you're going to have isolation and then insulation. And I'll break it down later. But I think that's going to be the path forward for America. Integration, isolation, and insulation.
Okay. Well, I wanted you guys to see, I want y'all to see the Mima from the block over here with her old middle-aged behind acting a fool outside the courthouse, trying to stoke racial tension and start a riot. This is that mama. You know how when you if you had a kid, you got to pick your kid up from the baby mama house. And she's spending all her time keeping the kid from you, and then she want to come outside the house being all loud so all the neighbors know what's happening. That's this chick.
Yeah. Yes.
And now I see why it's so easy for Karmelo's parents to be connected to Dominique Alexander because all of these people see this as an opportunity to make $1 out of 15 cents. At the expense of Karmelo Anthony. And now I see why he believed that he was entitled to take someone's life because this entitlement comes from the top down. The grandmama, her daughter, and her weak jellyback punk husband, all of them. Go ahead.
April, the boy, the fanboy. Now, there's other videos of him talking about he came from Louisiana. You should see him jumping in different reporters' face, acting a plumb fool. He's been the last, 3 days. He has been there agitating. And this is who puts them up on a pedestal. We see the problem.
Why aren't these people at work?
Because we're paying for them.
Where are their jobs? How are you, unless you are a full-time content creator where you were able to actually make money from the content? Like my girlfriend, Tamira Neely, was on site during this entire trial.
Yes.
These are just regular Joe Schmoes. If you're not a paid agitator, how are you here this many days? Do you not have a job?
Well, but April, you just hit on it. The paid agitator. Now, there's different levels of paid agitation. And just like now, for the audience, April, we got to give them the background. This year, you finally watched the Godfather trilogy for the first time. Bless your soul. And so you got into this whole mafia knowledge that Robert Chapman, myself, and Vince Ellison keeps throwing different quotes to you. And for 5 years, April ain't know what we're saying. Now you get it. So there's different levels. You have the high paid Antifa adjectives that the activists that they fly from the West Coast and Seattle and all of that. And then you have what Vince called a pork chop sandwich and a bottle of liquor activists. That's these. You give these Negroes $100 and they sit out there. It's hotter than the devil's butthole in Texas. And they're out there all day drinking and yelling.
You right.
It's not for free.